Come on in, hit that thumbs up as you come in, please. Let's get this thing started. We got some news from the other side of the world I want to cover real quick. We give everybody an opportunity to get in, hit the thumbs up. Good evening, good afternoon rather. Hope you can hear me. We didn't do the 2 o'clock because, come on, I was otherwise engaged. Let's see here. Come on in, hit the thumbs up. Unfortunately, there has been, come on, what's going on with this now? A devastating flood in China. 54 Americans involved. You're watching some footage of that right now. I mean, this is just horrendous. Flash floods, they're nothing to play with. We got some more footage of this. Hope, too many people didn't get hurt, but they got hundreds missing right now. We're going to talk about Gary, Indiana, what happened out there, why it happened. The blackout lasted several days. We can expect more of this. I'm going to tell you why. Okay, hold on. All right, there we go. Okay. And I promised you guys I would talk about my experience with the, you were not watching the thing. Oh, hold on. I promised you guys I would talk about the creepy hotel I stayed in. Nice hotel, but creepy. All right, here is the flood waters. Deb, how you doing? We'll give everybody a minute or two to jump on in. All right, so we got that. Okay, hold on. This happened in Tibet and China. It's at a border crossing. So you can imagine how many people might have been there. Okay. All right. So Gary, Indiana, we talk about it. It's a lot of speculation swirling as to why they weren't up and running sooner. We're going to show you exactly why they weren't up and running sooner. And it ain't the power company's fault. Okay. Hold on. One more thing, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Come on now. There we go. August. Hold on, guys. Come on in. Hit the thumbs up if you would, please. Bring one more thing up here. You see that flood that's going on there? That just, those people had absolutely no warning of what was about to happen. That water came down off of one of those mountains there in Tibet. And that was all she wrote. Let's see. Okay, and almost ready, guys. Give me a sec here. Okay. All right. Come on. There we go. Oops. Come on in. I'm just a little behind today. I had to go to an early morning meeting. Then I had to pick my wife up from the train station because she was at a conference, real estate conference up in Connecticut. We had come off the Boston trip. It's been good. I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. Just busy, flying by the seat of my pants here. Right. Bringing some stuff up for. We'll talk about the creepy hotel here in a second. I got some footage of that I want to show you. All right. So we got this thing that went on in Tibet. You see what's happening here. That's a border crossing, like the a checkpoint, like a border checkpoint, right? Look at that water. Look at how devastating that is. Those people running, they had no chance. And the scale of this is just mind blowing. I mean, that wave alone is larger than that. That looks like a 4-story building, 4 or 5-story building, just taller than that building, wider than that building, right? Just came through there and nothing, I mean, nothing could stand up to that. So definitely heart goes out to these people, man. Definitely praying for them. This is just incredible. Deb says this intro to the hotel reminds me of that story you told on that one site. Oh, okay, yeah. When we were doing that, yeah. This is a border crossing. Actually, you go through there and you're either in China or Tibet. So I think what we're looking at, what we are looking at here, is China or Tibet. I don't know which, but once you go through there, then you're in the other country. This is one of their border crossings. Man, oh man, this is just incredible. Let's get some more detail on this, guys, because they do have 54 Americans who are among the hundreds missing. There's some more footage here. It'll come up in a sec. Catastrophic flash flood in Nepal on Wednesday. Oh man, 160 people lost their lives. Now we got some more footage here, okay, of some folk. Oh, they got a different thing going on. Let me this is different from what they had before. Let's blow it up and see what's going on here. Man, I feel bad for these people. You can't outrun that water, but you got to try, right? Look at that from your left side of the screen. My wife saw this. She said she thought it was dust at first. I said, no, that's water. That's water. Look at that. Jeez, Louise, man. Nothing can stand up to water, man. Nothing can stand up to it. Oh, jeez. Okay, here's that first thing. We look this a little bit more high resolution. The birds, look at the birds flying away from it. It's like the animals are. They must be able to hear it because they're running already. They can hear this. Jeez. Whoa, man. Mm. Just in an instant, man, those people are gone. And that is water. And you know, this got a lot of debris in that water, you know? No surviving that. No surviving that. Mm. So God help everybody involved in that. Definitely. Catastrophic flash flooding in Nepal Wednesday killed 160 people and left hundreds more missing, including over 50 Americans. As harrowing footage shows, a massive surge of water descend from the mountains, sending dozens of terrified people running for their lives. The flooding is believed to have been caused by a wall of mud and rock that collapsed into a river on the Himalayan border between Nepal and China controlled Tibet. Now, keep in mind, this part of the world has those really high mountains. Everest is in this region, right? Everest goes up to almost 30,000 feet, the height at which your commercial airplane flies. All right. So, water coming down off of something even half the size of that is going to have a hell of a lot of force. Man. Um, 300 tourists are missing. Man. Okay. So all we can do from where we are, of course, is pray for the people affected by this. Lots of people. All right. I've never been to China, but I do know I've seen a lot of pictures of China. They got these immense, like geographic structures. Like, so when water comes down off of a mountain, it's like I said, it's traveling. It's traveling fast. LJ, good to see you. Let's see. Rock House. Rockhouse says, can't outrun that flood. Glad I live on the high ground. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely terrifying, right, Deb? LJ says we just watched hundreds die live. Yep. Yes, we did. Man. Um, this is just crazy. LJ says, I cannot imagine the terror. Here 1 minute, gone the next. Hug your loved ones every day. Absolutely. Absolutely. Matrox, there was a flash flood in China, and it was caused by a landslide. Yeah. And I took them out. Okay. All right, guys. So let's move on here. We'll continue to monitor that situation and see what happens from here. I promised you guys I was going to show you some footage of my. Uh, let's play this. There we go. Share that. Okay. Of my. So we went to Boston actually, we went to Danvers, which is north of Boston. Okay. For an insurance industry conference. And guys, we stayed in a creepy hotel. So let me show you um let me just walk you through this. What was creepy about it? Well, first of all, it was kind of in the middle of nowhere. It gave you overlook hotel vibes. And we are going to get to Gary, Indiana. We're going to take a deep dive into that and that power outage and how that is not novel, and it's going to become all uh, too common. And I'll explain to you the reasons why and what we could do about it. But we stayed up in Danvers. Okay, now here I am waiting for the elevator. I don't know why I didn't film the hallway, because the hallway really gave you Shining vibes. Okay, all right. So this is like a little service elevator I got in. I have this recurring nightmarish kind of theme going on in my head whenever I get into an elevator, that when the door opens, it'll open into another elevator. Yes, guys, I know I'm weird. Uh, this is like a little, it was attached to this aquatic center, right? And then they had this arcade down here, right? And my wife and I came back out of the room to film this, right? There's nobody in this hotel. So I came back out. Well, there are very few people. I came back out to film this. But when we were here the first time and we were just exploring, we got down here to this point right here. And we heard this voice say, it's closed. Just like that, right? And we turned around and it was like this custodian guy, right? And we're like, we're just checking it out, dude. We'll move on, right? So um, this is kind of the vibe of the entire place. This is a little arcade area, and that was late at night. So I didn't expect it to be open, but still kind of creepy, right? Um, Now look, guys, you might look at this and say, "Oh, it's outdated." My wife is like a real stickler on hotels. Put me in a Best Western, man. I'm like, man, this place is nice. Um, so here we are. I'm just walking through the halls here. Watch this. This immense space opens up, and it felt really weird because there was nobody in the space at all. Okay, watch this. So it's giving you like back rooms vibes, right? Okay, so and walking through here, it is eerily quiet. It is just absolutely eerily quiet. You can hear like machinery and stuff like that, but that's all. It's really a creepy part coming up here. Okay. So there's this piano. Okay. And look at this. It's like huge space. Nobody's there, right? And it's not that late at night. It's not like this is not 2 a.m. This is like 10 o'clock. Okay. Uh so I go down here. I'm like, what the hell's going on down here? Right? Because I heard some voices down here. So I'm looking around. I'm thinking maybe the party's down here, right? Uh let's go check it out. I don't know. Are you guys getting this same kind of vibe that I'm getting? Okay. And this place is literally in the middle of nowhere. You walk outside, it's pitch black dark. Okay. And I thought I heard these voices right around this corner. There ain't nobody there. So I hightail it the hell out of there. Okay, I don't know what's going on. um, uh, this is how this place was. Okay, now we had sat down and had dinner earlier in the evening. Okay. And it was pretty good. Let's see here. I think, do I run into some folk up here? I don't know. Okay, yeah, I do. Okay. So there's a guy. Okay, now I'm headed toward like the front desk area. Okay. Should be like there's a little Starbucks area. A smattering of folk up here. Okay. But for the most part, this was how the entire place was. Okay, this is how it was. Now I've been to a lot of hotels, and I just don't. Maybe it was the setting in Danvers because it was in a heavily wooded area. This is the DoubleTree by the way. Okay. So are you guys picking up what I'm putting down here? Is it just me? Okay. I'll show you a little bit more of this and then we'll jump out. Because this was the whole vibe. Okay. Is anybody here familiar with the back rooms, that whole thing? It was really giving me back rooms vibes. Okay. Did I go outside on this? Let's speed it up a little bit. I think I did. Yeah, I did. Okay. Okay. So see that? With the exception of the lights in the parking lot, this place was like in the middle of a heavily wooded area. We're driven through kind of a national park to get here. Okay. So all right, I just want to get the hallway. And then okay, I'm back on the elevator. Okay, now I'll get the hallway and you'll see what I'm talking about. Look at that hallway. Don't you expect a girl on a tricycle to come riding down there any minute? Right? Like on The Shining. Or the little boy was on the tricycle. And the two girls stepped out. I didn't see them. But yeah, guys. Okay. No, it's not Vegas, LJ. That's not Vegas. Right, Deb. Right. Okay. So you guys are feeling me on that. It had real horror movie vibes. SJR says, "What do you mean? Are you from there?" No, I'm from Baltimore. Oh, you must be talking to somebody else. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll get into Gary in a minute. Because Gary has a larger lesson that all Americans need to really pay attention to these days. China and India. Matrix says China and India were just accused of hacking into America's government facilities. That ain't good. Did you guys see the CIA director went to Moscow yesterday? Did you see that? All right, so enough of the hotel. That's what it was. Creeped me out. Anyway, I did get a good night's sleep. They had a damn good mattress in there. So Gary, Indiana, out of power for about 9 days. I checked, 99% of Gary has been restored. Okay. They're blaming it on the governor as if he has the ability to climb up a pole and fix a transformer. Okay. Some people are saying, it's America 2026. Some people are saying it's racist because we're an all-black city. You are indeed an all-black city. In fact, here is the city council. Okay. Now remember, this is supposed to be racist to some people, right? All right, we got let's see. This is the city council. Huh? All right. 9 members, 100% black. Must be that evil mayor. The mayor must be the one that is standing in the way of progress here. It's got to be the mayor. If you say it's racist, then let's check out and see who the Klan member mayor of Gary, Indiana is? Let's check him out. Probably Bull Connor's grandson. I bet you, right? Let's see. Because it is racist, they say, right? Who is he? Oh, this is the guy. A guy named Eddie Milton. Oh, wait a minute. Office of the Mayor, Gary, Indiana. Oh, there's Eddie Milton. Melton. Sorry, sir. Okay. I'm trying to find this racial conspiracy as to why the power stayed out in Gary so long. They said it's racially motivated. I thought maybe the city council was white or the mayor. Okay. It's got to be the evil, racist power company, right? Okay. Here's the leadership. Okay. Okay. This is the leadership of the evil power company called NIPSCO. Oh, wait a minute. Look at that. Second in command is a black woman, Karima Hassan Bey. Huh. Okay. You mean to tell me there's got to be something else going on as to why their power wasn't restored earlier, because the governor is calling for an investigation into the power company after a lengthy power outage ends in northern Indiana. Now, what he may really want to look into in his investigation is this: shots fired at NIPSCO vehicle during power restoration efforts. So what they had there was folk who were out there trying to restore power getting shot at. In fact, one of the bullets ended up in the headrest of one of these repair trucks. Close call, right? So they rolled out. They said, we can't work under these conditions. So we'll come back when the situation is safer. Maybe we can get a police escort to come in here and do what we got to do. So that took time. Okay. The incident comes now, mind you, 99% of Gary has been restored at this point. But as of when was this? The 15th, when those shots were fired, the incident comes as thousands of residents into the fifth day. So this was the fifth day. All right. So what happened in Gary? They got what's called a derecho. Now, America's power grid is failing. Okay. It is failing. I'm going to tell you something very interesting. There were several data centers in the area that never lost power. Now, true, they had to go to battery backup for a minute, but they didn't miss a beat. Okay. What can we learn from that? Well, we get to that in a minute. But America's power grid is failing. There's too much demand, and the powers that be, remember, in a lot of these blue states, a lot of the major cities, I can't think of one major city that's run by Republicans. I could be wrong. I can't think of one off the top of my head. But the Democrats, the left, they're enamored with solar and wind. Solar and wind are not power sources designed to support entire cities, especially in the 21st century when we have more electronic devices than ever before. Even our cars are plugged in a lot of cases now, right? This is not 1982 where you had one floor model Zenith television that you plugged in, and that was like that in the refrigerator and the furnace were the biggest draws, right? No, you got power going all day long. And America's power grid cannot take it anymore. There's more power demand, far less supply. Why is there far less supply? Because wind and solar, they just can't cut it. We need more nuclear plants. That's what we need. And we need more natural gas fired electricity. That's just the bottom line. All right. And it's funny to see a lot of these leftists try to square the circle between saying China is going to kill us all with AI. So we got to build data centers. And then in the next sentence, talk about global warming, right? but they do it. I mean, they are a study in hypocrisy. So what happened in Gary? Well, a derecho came through. This is a straight line windstorm. Why do I know this? Because in 2011, we experienced a derecho, and I'm telling you, I hope no one on this live stream ever has to experience a storm like that. There are no words to describe how intense this storm was, but I'm going to try. It was like it was like being in the center of a prolonged tornado. We heard this sound in this house like a freight train coming. Okay. And it got here. Lightning was constant. It just wouldn't let up. The lightning was constant. Thunder and the wind. Look, we retreated to our basement. Okay. And we knew that when we climbed those steps and opened that basement door, we knew we weren't going to have a house. We knew we were going to open that door and it was just going to be nothing left. That's how intense that storm was. The grace of God, we weren't even missing a roofing tile, but we had all of these Bradford pear trees lining our driveway, took out about half of them, just took them out. We went outside, they were twisted. Trunks were twisted. It was just it devastated Western Baltimore County. Now, this is the time when I was a volunteer firefighter, EMT at the time. And I swear to you, we ran so much that next week that we would come out. I would go up to the firehouse. I would grab what was known as a special unit. If you ever watched Emergency One, they had a special unit. I wasn't able to transport patients, but I had about 100 gallons of water, medical supplies, all kinds of tools on this thing so I could get into emergency situations and help out, right? Me and my partner, it seated 4. So I would go up, grab the special unit or the utility, which was a pickup, or the brush unit. And usually, see, New York City, big cities run like this when it comes to the fire department. They go out and they rarely come back to the house throughout the day because they keep getting calls. That was not the case for Western Baltimore County. We go out for a call and then we come back. Hit that thumbs up, guys, please. But all that week after that derecho, we were running back to back to back to back. Get up to the firehouse, you're not seeing that firehouse again for at least 6 to 8 hours. That's how heavy we were running, okay? That's what happened in Detroit. This area was not prepared for that. We were out of power for 7 days, and we weren't shooting at anybody, okay? It's not that kind of party where I live yet. But we were out of power for a solid 7 days. Thank God I had a generator. I have a generator. Okay. I have a generator. And although I don't have my air conditioning unit on it, I have a room air conditioner that we just put in the bedroom and we could retreat there to cool off. Right. It was incredible. So that is what Gary, Indiana experienced. Okay. Now, it's not uncommon for these storms to come through and totally wipe out gas and electric infrastructure, above ground infrastructure. The crazy part is the power lines in my development are all underground, but the feeder lines are above ground. So look, they're up there crying about, oh, it's racist. No, it isn't. I looked it up. There have been several prolonged outages due to all kinds of reasons throughout the country. Pennsylvania in April, severe spring storm knocked out power to about 450,000 customers across Pennsylvania. Black, white, club-footed, crippled, crazy, everybody, okay, across Pennsylvania. Heavy damage to high voltage lines left tens of thousands of homes in the dark. Unheated conditions. What? Unheated conditions. Oh, okay, because it was a little chilly outside. Unheated conditions for up to 7 days in parts of rural and suburban Pennsylvania. Gulf Coast storms down in Houston. More than 130 customers out of power. Okay. 5 to 7 days. Los Angeles County. On and on and on here. Okay. So I just want to put it out there that to some in our country, a snowstorm is racist because it doesn't contain any black flakes. The real problem here is that our electric grid is aging and it's under more demand than ever before. Okay. Over 70% of the US transmission grid is more than 25 years old and was not engineered to withstand modern severe weather or the high demand of electronic equipment that we have today. Rapidly expanding high load facilities, data centers, manufacturing plants draw heavy base load power from the municipal grid, leaving less margin for error. When major high voltage transformers or distribution poles blow out, replacing them takes days or weeks due to supply chain backlogs. You know, we don't manufacture transformers in this country. Now, they have spares, but we don't manufacture them here. Okay. So, routine weather events can become prolonged crises. What do we do about this? Guys, I've been on this for a couple of days now. Well, a couple of weeks, actually. We got to become energy independent. And I'm not talking about the country. I'm talking about me and you. Okay. Let me take some comments and then we'll get deeper into this. Matt Rock says Gary, Indiana went to hell after Jackson 5 left. Gary, Indiana was hell when they were there. That's why Joe wanted to get the hell out of there and was basically like, sing, boys. Okay. And they got as far away from Gary as they possibly could. Oh, okay. Deb had to roll out doctor's appointment. I get it. No problem. Matrox says, dumbasses running the city. That can be said for a lot of cities throughout this country today. Let's see. LJ. The population of Gary is estimated to be 67,289 folks. It is a predominantly Black or African American population, making up 76 to 80% of the city's total. The median household income is $38,731 to $40,752. Okay. Yeah, it's a straight line windstorm. It is intense. Again, I don't want anybody to have to experience that, boy. That was crazy. All right, so they had a tornado, also all kinds of crazy stuff. So what do we need to do about this? Let's hear from Rockhouse first. Rockhouse says went 6 days without power after a large ice storm years ago. Now that is deadly. Okay, in the summertime you got to sweat it out, right? But ice is deadly because it's not even like under certain conditions, right? You might be like, well, I can't even get in the car and go anywhere, like to a hotel because it's ice outside. The gas furnace would not work without electric, right? Because it needs that spark. The wood stove came in awful handy. My converter ran my computer and TV off my truck battery. Good, good. Yeah, you got to get creative, right? Let's see. LJ, uprooted trees and fallen heavy limbs broke massive parts of the local grid and blocked alleyways, making physical access difficult. Yeah, that's one of the things we ran into the night once that derecho passed us by. I hooked up our generator, made sure my wife was good, and then I went to the firehouse, and all night long it was just trying to clear roadways with chainsaws and axes all night long. And we were doing that because we had a guy in another county call in a cardiac arrest. And if you know anything about that, you know time is of the essence. The other county got hit with the derecho as well, but they could not. They were like, look, we're trying to get to it. We're out here chopping trees. Get to this, cross the county line, go into this. Whoever gets there first. Okay, they ended up getting there first. We got there shortly thereafter. And the guy lived, thank God. He lived, which is rare for a cardiac arrest. Alex says, good afternoon, Tyrone and Tyronistan. Rip to Tim Curry and uh, JP Morgan. Oh, wow. Okay. So Tim Curry, yeah, he was uh Alex, you see the movie Congo? He cracked me up in that movie. He cracked me up. Tim Curry was also Pennywise, the original Pennywise in the movie It. And boy, was that some scary stuff. I saw that when I was a lot younger. Only 10% battery remaining. How is that possible? Staying in charging all night. All right, so what do we do about this? All right, I'll tell you. Guys, we need to become energy independent. And when I say energy independent, I'm not talking about drilling for shale oil. I'm not talking about it from the standpoint of a nation state, right? I'm talking about it from the standpoint of us personally. What do we need to do? Well, I dropped a video. Here it is. Share this. Check this video out when you get a chance. Plug in solar, the answer to Canada's threat to cut US power. Watch that video if you haven't already, okay? We talk about a real deal, affordable solution to individual energy independence. Now, you're talking about solar panels on the roof. That's going to set you back a pretty penny. Some people are able to do it, right? God bless them. Depending on how you configure that expense, it'd be a while before you break even. But with this plug-in solar thing, guys, watch that video. It's an answer. Now, you know we got the electric car, right? And I've been telling people, guy asked me about it today. He said, hey man, is that an electric car? I said, yeah. He said, would you recommend electric cars? I said, under two circumstances. I think it's still a good idea to have an ICE car, internal combustion engine car. That's number one. Number two, you've got to have a situation where you can get the charger at your house. Telling you right now, the charging network is iffy. Okay, now we got the charger at the house. It's plugged up now because we did a lot of running this morning. But if you rely, like Walmart, there's a Walmart near us that has a pretty elaborate charging station. It's always full because there are a lot of apartments around that particular Walmart, and a lot of people have electric cars in that complex. But my wife was coming out of Virginia one day, and she said, this is going to cut it close. I'll get there with 5%, meaning the house, right? So, okay, cool. We got the charger here, right? But she said, you know what? I'm going to go to Walmart. I just feel more comfortable going to Walmart. And there's a thing called range anxiety when you get an electric car, when you first get it. Okay. You don't know what a percentage point means in terms of mileage. So she said, yeah, I went to the Walmart and it was under construction. So she diverted. She got here on 3% and it was all good. But you've got to have that charging station at your house if you're going to do it, right? These plug-in solar stations are modular. One guy started out just running his refrigerator and a couple of appliances off of it. Then a lady had like more stuff on it, like a furnace and some other stuff on it. Okay. They tried to sell us solar packaged in Al Gore's guilt. You know, they monetized guilt. Remember in the beginning, you didn't see any Prius with tinted windows because everybody wanted you to know who was saving the planet, right? But now the technology has matured and we're at a point where we can, as consumers, we can play a game where we don't have to be at the full mercy of foreign policy like the mullahs over in Iran. They closed the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, it's not a good thing, but if you got an electric car, you're not fully exposed to that, right? Oh, but you still got to pay electricity. We've been tracking that. We pay far less in electricity than we were paying in gasoline. Okay. especially because of the elevated prices. Some guy on one of these forums said, "So, how you feel about your electric car now?" He was just put the question out there generally. How you feel about your electric car now that electricity prices have gone up? And somebody said to him, "Have you ever felt any kind of way about your ICE car when gas prices go up? What are you talking about?" Right? Um, Watch that video, guys. Plug-in solar, the answer to Canada's threat to cut U.S. power. Yes, they have threatened to cut power here in the U.S. Um, because they're in a trade dispute with us. Let's take some. Yeah, Al Gore was a is a big phony. This guy told you sea levels were going to rise, made millions of dollars off of that movie, and then went and bought a beachfront property in California. Right? How the hell was he able to get a loan on a beachfront property? Don't you think the banks would know with a really good degree of certainty whether or not their asset was going to be underwater in 10 years? Yeah, Dolly passed too. Dolly Parton. She was 80. Tim Carey. Matrox says Tim Carey. Shelley Fabaris. I'm not familiar with her. Dolly Parton. J.P. Morgan. All dead within 4 days. J.P. Morgan was 94. The other were 80. Guys, I'm going to hold a memorial when William Shatner checks out of here. And no man knoweth the day of the hour. William Shatner could outlive me. But I like William Shatner. I like William Shatner. You know why I like William Shatner? I'm a big Star Trek fan. And when I was a kid, I used to love the fact that William Shatner would go down on the planet. And most of the time, he could talk his way out of any situation. Now, sometimes he'd have to kick your ass, okay? But that was rare. That was rare. And I really like that. I like that. He led with reason. Colby Smith, how you doing? Says some transformers up to 18, you say months to replace, and we don't have a lot of replacements. Okay, that's good information there. That's scary too, right? Let's see. 18 months. I got you. I got you, Colby Smith. Thank you for that. Oh, Matrox, you're right about that. Canada is Lilliputian. Okay. Militarily, economically, they have been allowed to believe they are a peer for far too long. And they know damn well they better not cut power to us. Especially, remember when China sent one of the balloons over Canada and they called us and said, "Hey, can you come up and take care of this for us?" I said, "Sure, why not?" I think it was an F-22, went up, shot it down, came back in time for a late lunch. All right, because Canada couldn't protect their own damn territory. Right. Oh, she's from the Donna Reed show. Okay. Alex, and William Shatner is politically neutral. He's politically neutral. I like it. The guy, William Shatner, he's very insightful too. I like his perspective when he came back from the whole thing with Jeff Bezos and how he was very open and honest about his perspective, being up in the sky looking at the planet like that. Yeah, LJ, that guy Doug Ford reminds me of Fat Bastard from the Austin Powers franchise. Yes, and we do supply them. Yes, we sure do. So look, Canada, and this is one thing I don't understand. They keep talking about these vehicles. Oh, we do so much with these vehicles. All of the companies they're talking about are American companies. So how would you like it if we just told them, "Hey, look, it'd be a great idea if y'all just relocate your business outside Canada for a while." Then what? All right. Excuse me, guys. LJ says historically, over a multi-year span, 2010 to 2024, the U.S. exported roughly 13 terawatts annually to Canada, while importing around 59 terawatts from Canadian provinces. Yeah, Shatner looks damn good for his age, doesn't he? Yes, he does. And I think I attribute that partly to him he doesn't hold back, right? You ever seen Shatner do Rocket Man? Elton John's Rocket Man? Shatner just does what he feels, right? He's not leaving anything on the table, you know. All right, guys. Hit that thumbs up for me. This was a good live stream. We got a lot of folk in here, comparatively speaking. Check out the uploads. We got one on there we just uploaded this morning. AI lied. How this idiot attorney trusted. Well, he wasn't an attorney, but he was an engineer. He trusted AI to do some work, and oh man, boy, did he get embarrassed in a court of law. Okay, probably lost his job too. Um, LJ says William Shatner was her first crush. Ex New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is the original fat bastard. Yes, he is. All right, this thing is conking out here, guys. I'm gonna shut it down. Hit the thumbs up before you get out of here, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for hanging out.